Because it looks really... Yeah.
Oh
No way you didn't just do that.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Puck Around and Pod Out, featuring men with degrees from Michigan State, the University of Denver, and the gas station behind the University of Wyoming.
Hold on, Keefer.
Am I back? Yeah, you're back. Let's go.
Keefer, you use a debit card still? You know, like Money Management 101, the first day of money management class would be cut your debit card unless you're an absolute idiot. Tell me you don't use a debit card.
Hey, that's all I use.
I mean, man, if you get your debit card hacked and they steal money out of your account, you can't get it back.
Oh, I don't know. He's going to beg to differ. Pretty sure they can't dig in my backyard.
No, but you know what I mean? Like a debit card should be cut, not used. I mean, that is the only reason you use a debit card, Kyle, is if your credit is so bad you can't get a credit card. That's why you use a debit card.
You're going to wake up one day and there's going to be people digging in your backyard because of that comment.
My backyard, I don't even have one.
Well, yeah, you don't have a backyard, but Keefer does, and it's big, and there's going to be somebody digging back there looking for money because they will believe that you store money in a friggin' coffee can in your backyard. Cans, exactly. Like, okay. Oh my God, what is it? Is that vacation where they stop at cousin Eddie's house and he's got a bunch of money stored in cans in his backyard?
Here's the deal. I use a debit card, okay? Dana has a credit card. So when we purchase plane tickets, she buys all the stuff. When we purchase large, expensive items, $4 or $5 grand, she buys it with the credit card. We're on different checking accounts. So she does her thing, I do my thing. No timeout, no timeout, no timeout.
Timeout. No, you have to allow for rebuttals on this shit. Okay,
I wasn't even done for a rebuttal.
No, because we're going to get too far. We're going to stray too far. First of all, minus Quincy's softball bats, what big ticket items is Dana purchasing? Because I don't think that's happening.
Suits.
It's obviously not internet.
Does my internet suck?
Yeah, it sucks.
It's awful. It's so bad. And then, hey, I need you to send Griff. So, Riker, Keefer has a stash of peanut butter and waters in his basement for the apocalypse. He showed me the video last night. So not only did his debit card get hacked by some AI company, he apparently is preparing for the apocalypse with peanut butter. What else do you have? Soups? Of course,
I have soups. I have canned. I'll just send you the video. I have canned vegetables because you got to stay healthy. You got to stay tight during an apocalypse. And I have beans. I have rice.
Oh my God.
I have water. I have a radio. I have a flashlight.
Vegetables.
I have
You've never eaten a vegetable in your life.
Well, I know, but if I'm going to survive, I'm going to need vegetables.
You're one step above Moj. You eat meat not from 7-Eleven. That's what you do. You don't eat vegetables.
I'm sending you this video right now.
So let's just summarize here. Hold on. So, Keefer, you got water and peanut butter, and you got a supply in your basement ready for the apocalypse. You're 53 years old. You don't have a credit card. You use a debit card. So if it gets hacked, they're just going to clean your bank account up. Like, welcome to the world of Kyle Keefe, folks. How does it operate on a daily?
It's, they're not going to make out very well because there's like $400 in that account. So it's not good. But I will tell you,
oh my God,
an AI company, I got Wells Fargo and they were like 5602, 5602, 5602. And then I'm like, got this text. It's like, are you buying AI? And I was like, no. And it was some AI company charging me
AI.
It was like fitbody.ai. It was like an AI, how to get fit from an AI.
It was definitely not Fitbody. Nobody's charging Fitbody on your credit card. It was the ranch is what was charging $56.
It was Fitbody.
And that was the champagne room at the ranch over spring break, and it was just back charging you.
Yeah. just bottles of Yellowtail 5602 repeatedly.
boxes of Yellowtail.
Where'd you get scammed, Keefer? Did you figure it out? Were you on the dark web buying something, or what happened?
God damn it. I have.
Getting pissed, Johnny.
This is okay. So everybody listening to this podcast right now, this is what we do when we're not on the air. When we are in studio or when we are at ball, this is what we do. We just hammer on each other for the stupid things that we do. You're
You do
showing
it
us
when
a
you're
white
on the
phone
air
screen.
too. It's just more
That's
safe
true.
for television.
Yeah, Griff relegates when we're on the air.
Like,
Fit flow.
I'm sure we can't show that
Fit
in the
flow.
fraud department.
Fit flow.
Fit flow.
AI is trying to get me to get fit through flow 57 times. So I'm expecting a new debit card today, but I have to sign for it, and he's coming between 1 and 3. So when we have Rob
of
Blake
course.
on, I'm going to have to run upstairs
You're
and
gonna have
sign
to
for
run
this debit card.
upstairs and sign for the debit card.
These are
Oh,
expensive debit cards.
Did you pick a new pin yet, or what?
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yes, this is. Look at this! Look at that one right there that smashed in, and he kept it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the apocalypse
tea?
track.
Do
Spaghetti.
you have tea?
No, I got
Do you have
spaghetti.
tea?
There's the radio.
That's a radio.
There's a light
so he
if the
knows where
lights
the
go out.
zombies are. Yeah.
There's a backpack if I need to go out and kill something, a deer.
So I did say, what if it's a nuclear bomb and you're just hiding in your basement eating peanut butter?
Well, you're not supposed to go outside for 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
That's all the fallout from a nuclear
And then
bomb.
you go outside and you
Good
run over to
God.
your neighbors, see if they're alive. If they're not, take all their peanut butter and rice. And
I
then-
cannot wait for the comments on this one. This should be fun.
Well, I'm prepared. I have a debit card
my
and a
God.
lot of peanut butter.
Oh my God, the debit card. I can't get over the debit card. That's the
Oh.
best.
I want to thank Penfolds, Dow, BV, and Behringer, because I'm not supposed to say the name, but we got hooked up with some serious
Yeah, we did.
4 bottles of legit wine that, like, when I unwrapped it, it's the nicest gift I've ever unwrapped. In fact, I told Dana, you might want to start giving me better gifts because this one was so nicely wrapped. It'll be the 4 nicest bottles of wine I have. And I know you two are wine snobs, but for me, this is good wine. So thank you.
Mhm.
I can't say her name, but you know
To
who you
the
are.
person that shall remain nameless.
Yes, because that
Okay.
was sick.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
And would you like to be a sponsor?
Well, and Keefer, Dana can buy you gifts because she has a credit card, but you can't buy her anything because you only have
Yeah.
a debit card.
You have a limit.
He
When you
doesn't
went
need to
New
buy her
York-
anything. He's
Well,
got
when
4
you went
bottles
to
of
New York-
$180 wine.
Yeah. When you went to New York and you bought her the bag, how did you buy her the bag? Did you just walk in with cash?
No, I've got it on my debit card. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Your limit of the debt. Did she up your limit for one day?
No, she gave me Doritos and donuts to take out that morning for lunch. She gave me $15 of gas money, and I bought her a purse.
Oh, my God.
Johnny, how long ago did you shred your debit cards? Like probably your first year pro, and your money manager goes, "Don't ever
Well,
use
I
a debit
have
card."
a debit card, but I also have a credit card that I
Right.
use. I have a debit card to take money out if I want cash, but I don't
Okay,
have
so that's all you use it for, though. That's it.
literally all I use it for.
That's it. One thing, because
Yes.
anything else is a scam 101.
Yeah, I don't. Everything is credit card.
Well, apparently my debit card is red hot because every time we throw it in a damn hat at a dinner, it gets picked.
I
Tell the
honestly,
story.
I didn't know that you were paying for our dinners with a debit card.
And it
Me
barely went through. I was thankful to God when she came back and brought the receipt.
Well,
and I
that's
thought it
because
was gonna
we
bounce.
paid cash for the tip.
Yeah.
I don't make very much money, John.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh my
so,
God.
folks, we
That would
play a
be
thing
John-Michael.
on the road in
don't.
in the NHL. You play a game called the credit card game, and you take a napkin from the restaurant that you're at, and however many guys, there's 8 guys, there's 8 credit cards in a napkin. The waitress comes over, a waiter comes over, you hold it out, they can't see in it, they pick out cards, last one in pays. So we have decided that we will continue this tradition. Well, Keefer got dinged last week when we went to dinner with Brett McLean at Altano and Cherry Creek, and he is Still a little bitter.
For the 8th time that we've played that game. Now, there's a little trick that Johnny likes to do where he stuffs my credit card over here and then keeps all of these available. So all of these get pulled, and then in the final one, he unleashes mine, and that way I have a 50% chance of getting taken every time. Because it should be noted that Johnny's card has never, in fact, it's the first one out every time.
Keefer, you getting a new debit card might be a blessing in disguise. Maybe the old one was cursed.
Yeah, or maybe just get a credit card and it never gets picked.
I don't have good credit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what is up?
This is a good start time for you, Johnny, huh?
Yeah. I can't drink right now. I still got to take my daughter to lacrosse practice today. Otherwise, yes, this would be a perfect start time.
This is pure LaCroix time, 3 minutes early. Like, this is no joke.
Yeah.
When you show up early, you got your shit together. So thank you, Rob.
Well, I don't have a lot going on, so I got some time.
Oh, I love it.
Where are you at? Are
Blake,
you in a cabin in the woods, or where are you?
No, I've been in Manhattan Beach, just in the office in Manhattan Beach. So,
yeah, that's where I would be too. That's where I would be too.
Did you go surfing this morning?
I did. I just got out about half hour. I'm just looking at it right now. A little windy. It was perfect timing actually for this. I could still get that in before I had to jump on here. So,
How many days a week are you surfing right now, Blakey?
well, I try to go every day, but it, I think when I'm older now, if it gets a little too big, I like to take the option. So I'm not, I would say roughly though, 3-4 days a week for sure.
Now, are you ripping tides? I mean, are you out there like wobbly man, or are you ripping stuff?
No, it's, I've got it figured out pretty good now, but I don't, like I said, if it's, anything over 4 to, 4 plus, I don't go out. We like it around the 2 to 3 range and keeps it nice. Keeps it friendly for us.
Blakey, when Keefer said, "Are you ripping tides?" Did you want to shake your head and say, "What are you talking about?"
I
you
stole that
dumbass?"
from Johnny Utah on the movie.
That's right.
Point Break, baby.
Oh my
The
God.
sea speaks to a lot of these guys. It probably speaks to him. Hey,
He rented that
Blakey,
using his debit card.
we always start this show off. I don't know if you've seen any of our episodes, but we always start them off with 5 crazy questions just to get your blood pumping and just so you know what kind of podcast you're into. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and they are not normal, and we do not expect normal answers. So I guarantee you've never been asked one of these questions. Are you ready?
All right.
Johnny, you told me I was good on these. Okay, here we go.
He
What-
dealt with footy for a long time. He's ready.
Okay.
He knows.
What's your favorite word? You can say it. You can say it.
It's okay.
Favorite
okay.
word. Good morning.
That's 2
All right.
words, Rob. Come on.
You
All
can
right,
curse
all
on
right.
this. You can curse.
I'm just getting into this. I'm just getting into this game. Okay, you guys caught me off guard here.
All right, you don't have to say it. Fuck it. All right. Just kidding. This is for my buddy Johnny. How many French fries is it okay for a friend to take before you tell them to order their own?
5.
And then 5?
5. That's it. No more.
I said,
That's it.
I asked Dana, Johnny, and she goes, it depends on how many trips back to the bag. How many trips you take back to the bag, not how many fries.
I like 5. I think that's a good number.
I think that's a good number.
Okay, everybody has an obsession. What is your current obsession, Rob?
Hot yoga.
Nice. Yes.
We're with you, Blake.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome. Is it core power? What are you hitting, Blakey?
Power fusion. Yes, power fusion.
Okay. Sweet.
So I'm
love
only like 25 sessions in, but starting to figure it out a little bit.
I love it.
These two do it every morning. I get to hear about Johnny's escapades every morning. Just straight sweat.
No surfing here in Denver, so it's hot yoga only.
Every
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
has one dream or nightmare when they were growing up. Do you remember yours, and what was it?
Nightmare was that I was going to end up on the farm. so I
In
made that
Simcoe?
not
In Simcoe?
yeah, yeah. That was
Like, what
every
happens
day I
in this
woke up.
dream?
I'm
What
like,
happens?
oh no, that I actually had to become a farmer, and I was far from doing that. But I enjoy it now. But I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I was like, that I cannot do this.
Johnny, do you remember yours?
Oh, God. No, I don't. Do you
I
remember
had
yours?
one. I had one where we lived at the bottom of this hill, and I had this dream where this motorcycle man who was a skeleton, I would see him at the top of the hill, and he would rev his engine and he would drive all the way down the hill. And you know when you can't run in a dream? And he drives all the way down the hill, and he eventually grabs hold of my ankles. I had it for 10 years. Apparently, it's supposed to mean massive wealth later in life. So,
Keefer, I still have the one where I can't get my skates tied up and it's the first period's gone and I'm trying to get into the second period.
Yep.
That's probably the most classic hockey nightmare of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of us have had that. Yeah, you
For
just
sure.
can't get it figured out.
Yeah.
if you were a professional baseball player, Blakey, what would your walk-up song be?
Probably something from AC/DC.
Thunderstruck?
Thunderstruck, yeah, Back in Black, probably something on that album.
Rikes?
My walk-up song?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm into electronic dance music now, like Dom Doll and John Summit's playing at Red Rocks tonight. Give me some of that. That's you pick, and I'm in.
All right.
Johnny? I figured Rikers would be like Prince, like Cream.
I don't know, something
like Prince.
country probably. I don't know. Something country. 5'9".
Come on, Johnny.
Tongue in cheek.
All right, Blakey, you passed the test. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a good question. We can take the heat off Blakey here and keep it on the funny line. So, Blakey, we're going to rip on Johnny here for a minute if you're interested. So in 0304, you're 33 years old. In comes this hot rocket, 22-year-old, self-proclaimed best defenseman ever out of college hockey. Probably should have won the Hobie. He's got frosted tips in his hair. How did you handle a 22-year-old John-Michael Liles?
Well, he was perfect. Yeah, coming right out of Michigan State. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, the frosted tips for sure. But it was perfect for me because in practice, he was just young enough and naive enough at that time. I could make him do a lot of the work. It was pretty simple. I was, Johnny, I'll be good. I'll stand in front. You work both corners here. We're going to work real well together.
So, you and Joe used to have a field day with me.
I had to build his stamina up for his career, so we started it early,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's awesome.
You and
Did
Joe.
you have to give curfew checks, Blakey, on him?
I think he was giving it to us. We were still on the border there now. Now, Johnny, you could tell pretty early he was a pretty talented player, but we did have fun with him. He was, but he was a welcoming group there, so it was fun to add him to it. So,
I'll say I'm gonna expand on that. There's two things. One, thank God Paul Correa was on that team because Footy could have absolutely murdered me every day. And it was the minute Paul walked in the room, Footy just went like this. And he's like, well, here we go. And it was like free for all on Paulie. And I love Paulie to death, but oh my God, thank God he was on that team because Jim Cummins and Footy would go after Paul Correa from the minute he walked in the door of the rink until the minute he left. And it was pranks and it was like just nonstop. So thank God Paulie was on that team.
I think he loved it too, Johnny. He's coming from Anaheim, and he was the big guy there for a number of years and everything. And he walks into our locker room, and you said, Footy and Jimmy Cummings, these guys. There wasn't a day he could slip up, but he did love his poker, and a lot of it revolved around his poker playing, I would say.
Okay, so this is my question. So that 03-04 team with you, Footy, Derek Morris, Comer, Bob Bugner,
Boogie.
Joe, Timu, Pete, Tangs, Hedgie. Is that the best? The plane rides are notorious for poker games. Was that the best poker games that you've had in your career, or was there somewhere else that had a better roster of the usually 8 guys playing poker?
Yeah, no, that was about the biggest collection for sure on the teams I was on. And the best part was probably the bus ride after the flights and everything. And Footy was kind of in charge and ranking the poker players. So it didn't matter if Paul would have won all the pots or something. He was always going to be the bottom player when it came to the ranking.
Amazing.
But I think the rest of the team, they waited for that ranking too. So.
He ranks just about everything. He likes to rank. That's Footy.
It was unreal. He would broadcast it over the whole bus of the ranking of 1 through 8. Barney, remember Matthew Barnaby got traded to us, and we were in Aspen with him, Riker, and the stories he was telling. Oh my God,
what a character!
Yeah.
Hey, Blakey, I wanted to ask you about Cale. Obviously, you were an amazing offensive defenseman. What do you think of Cale's game, and where is it right now, and how much better can it get? What do you think of Cale?
Well, I mean, at the end of his career, he's going to be as good as any of them that played. I mean, you watch it, and you could tell right away, right? He stayed that extra year in college. I remember, some guys were thinking he should have been out, whatever. He stayed an extra year, but he came out and he stepped right into the playoffs, and they won that year, right? And contributed at such a high level. These good players, they'd only take maybe a period or two to understand the league. Like a lot of guys, it takes a year, or it takes 2 years before you start to figure things out. The high end guys, it certainly didn't take them very long. And you watch him now, and just the ability, the movement he has along the blue line. It is amazing. And, I'm working with my youngest son. It's 14-year-olds and all these young D and everything. And this is what they're watching. They're watching the Makars and Quinn Hugheses and these guys, and their ability at the offensive blue line to challenge forwards. I would hate to have to be a forward and try to cover a player like that. So, he's just, like I said, I think at the end of the day, he's as good as any of them that have ever played.
I'm just curious, would you say that like Lidstrom,
Blakey,
who is somebody that's comparable to what Cale is today back in the day?
I think Lidstrom in the way that they can control a game, a little bit different. Nick was a lot calmer, kind of just played it. The way he walked the blue line, he would drag it, pump fake a few times. Whereas as Cale he kind of roams. He jumps in the play when he wants. He's got a great shot, but he becomes a threat every time he's on the ice on the offensive side. And but like I said, there's only a handful of guys that have been able to play that can determine an outcome almost every time they're on the ice.
Yeah.
So Blakey, I look at you as a bit of a unicorn, because here you are, a big Canadian boy, 6'3". I mean, the OHL had to just be drooling over you. Yet in the late 80s, going to college was not a popular decision. Like it was like you and Paul Correa were the only good college players. I mean, of note. So what was that decision like? And then your son went there and followed you as well.
Yeah. So it's funny. I was drafted. I think it was 3rd round to Sault Ste. Marie. So, but growing up where I did, the OHL was everything. Brantford had a team at the time. I think it was the Alexanders, and so I really, that's all we were doing. We're playing, bantam hockey, going into midget, and we're like, oh, geez, we got to, get drafted. Hopefully, play in the OHL. So I got drafted, went to a training camp, and back then you could go for 48 hours, and it wouldn't hurt your college eligibility. But I didn't know anything about college either at the time. So that was really my first time leaving the farm and going up there, and did the camp, and they were great. They talked to me. They're like, listen, you're not quite ready for the major junior right now, but let's get you back to junior B for a year and get a different experience and be ready to come out a year or two later. So I went back and I ended up playing in Stratford junior B, and the head coach in Stratford, his brother was an assistant coach at Bowling Green, and they had a track record with taking kids from there, Nelson Emerson, Mark Potvin, and a few guys the year before. So there was already this path in place. And, I kind of fell into that. And then by Christmas, I'm like, I still wasn't sure I could play in the Sault Ste. Marie next year. So I decided to take the college route, and basically was following Nelson Emerson, who was from my hometown and did that the year before. So, that's how it played out. But yeah, definitely growing up, that OHL was exactly where we wanted to go.
I was just curious about how you saw the game different as a GM, like always, like Joe or Stevie Y, or when you're a player, as you see it from, a player's perspective. How differently is the game from, a general manager's position?
Well, in a lot of aspects, it's it's obviously similar, and you understand that, the scouting that goes into it. I think when you're upstairs, you kind of rely on what you did as a player. We had to know who you were playing against every time, whether you're going up against a Korea Solani or, a Joel Otter or somebody. You had to understand all that. And that's part of the scouting background. I did have to remind myself a lot of times when I was upstairs, and it would even be a period where I'd walk down and watch the game by the glass, because it is so fast. And sometimes you get caught upstairs and it's slower. You see the whole ice and you're like, why didn't you make this play? Why didn't you make that play? When you get down and you see how quick these guys are, and the limited time that you have, and it puts you back in that perspective. So, it's just a different viewpoint upstairs. But the same aspects, but I did have to remind myself a few times, go down and just watch it a couple times. You realize these guys are still pretty quick. There's not a lot of time out there.
All right, real quick, going back to Cale.
Yep.
We had Jacques Cloutier as our D coach. What do you think Coco, his words to Cale Makar would be in those first couple of games? Because Coco was notorious for a few phrases, and he didn't like it when you open it up too much. So what do you think? What do you think Coco's words would be to Cale Makar in his first few games in the NHL?
Well, it would have been that stick on puck, and he would have put his hand behind his back and one stick out. But Coco too, the other thing with Colorado, and it was good in our days, and it's just as good now when I watch these guys. They usually have a pretty good lead going down the wire, and Coco was famous around the 5-minute mark in the third period. If you're up by 4 or 5 goals, he would take a stick of gum out and you give it to either Ray or Footy or I, and be like, "Here, your night's done tonight. We got to get some other guys next time." So I'm sure Cale probably gets that treatment around the 7-minute mark of a game when the Avs are up 4 or 5. Here's your stick of gum, Cale. You're going to take a seat here and let these other guys play.
Oh, yeah. Save it. Rest. Take a rest, kid. Take a rest. Johnny, get out there. Yeah. Double shift. Oh, God. That's so good.
All right, Blakey. So our listeners, I know you've told this story and I know this story, but for our Avalanche listeners, I was on the receiving end of one of your legendary backside hits back when I was playing for the Blues. You're with the Avs. So give us the story, the shoulders, how you developed that hitting technique, because to me, the story never gets old.
Yeah, and it kind of just happened. It wasn't like a thing. I came in the league saying, okay, I'm going to hit this style or turn around here and things. But I had a shoulder surgery when I was playing junior B. So early age of like 17 years old, got to the NHL and my second year had another shoulder surgery or a shoulder injury early in the season. So it was a dislocation. And back then you used to just kind of, I don't know if you guys remember those old harnesses, you'd put it on and it never really worked. Like your shoulder would still come in and out, but you were able to get through the season. You had to have it, surgically repaired at a later date. But I went through 2 seasons in a row with different shoulders with that same type of procedure. And so to be effective to hit, it was too painful to hit with my shoulder. It just didn't work. So I started turning around, and then I realized that it kind of started catching guys off guard. And, back then, obviously, we had a lot of hooking and holding through the neutral zone before the new rules. So, forwards and that could get the guy off balance or hold him up enough that we could get into a position to, and I just found it became an effective way to hit. And it actually didn't hurt me as much. A little more padding back there. So.
Do you remember your hardest
my first
hit
game
ever? Do you remember who you hit the hardest?
I think it was actually St. Louis. I'm pretty sure it was Barteco or something. It was a Czech kid coming down the wall, and I got him pretty good. Yes, and I think maybe Mark Bergevin or one of the guys that we had worked with here the last couple of years was on that team, and he keeps asking me about that hit. I started laughing. So,
my first game with the Avs, first regular season game, we played Chicago, and Tuomo Ruutu was a rookie.
Oh yeah,
and you and I had been out a couple times, a couple shifts. I think I was partnered with Derek Morris. I think you were partnered with Scoo, but somehow we got partnered up later in the game, and you said, hey, if we come down 2-on-2, force them to the middle. I thought nothing of it. Cool, I'll force them to the middle. I came across with Tuomo Ruutu. This is game 1 of my NHL career. You came across with your back, and you hit, it was like a grenade went off. My shit was in the corner. Tuomo Ruutu's shit was in the neutral zone. Like, it was a full yard sale. I'm picking up all my stuff. I come back to the bench. Coco's laughing. Everybody's laughing. And I was like, shit, force him to the middle. I probably should have known that.
yeah, I remember that one, actually. That was.
Do you really remember it?
I remember the one with Ruutu because he was pretty high touted player coming in. I think it was his first game in there, and you brought him right to the middle. You let him to me, Johnny. It was perfect.
No, I led myself, just friggin' chin out right there.
Johnny's collateral damage, eh?
Oh my God, that was concussion number 11 out of 50. So,
hey, I got one for you, just about this day and age in the game, because I want to know your definition of goalie interference. Because on a nightly basis on our broadcast, we do not know. Bedsy has been out there saying, I don't know what it is. People on the internet, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The refs, what is it? What is it, Rob? What's goaltender interference?
Well, it's the difficult part is that it's really hard to get completely black and white. And we would discuss this, you come in all these different ideas at a GM meeting, and, the night before, GMs usually get together and it's pretty loose, and you're talking about it and you're like, wow, we should look at this, whether the guy's foot in the crease, whatever, all that stuff. The next day you go and they're really good. They prepare about 30 clips, and you put your hand up if you think it's goalie interference. You put your hand down. The room is split, every one of them. Like it's such a difficult thing. I think they're getting a little bit clearer now that anything in the blue paint with contact to the goalie. Could you make that a little bit harder stance? You might want to adjust the shade of the blue paint, maybe to keep it a little bit smaller or something. There's some different things there, but it's difficult because every play is different, right? So whether a guy gets pushed in, or, was there contact enough? Did the goalie get to reset? There's a lot of different wording in there that's a judgment. And even if you have, 5-6 guys in a room looking at it, they're not going to be on the same page there. So, it's a difficult one. It would be nice to have a group and maybe sit down and just see if you can paint it a little bit clearer so that it have some guidelines there where if this does happen, this goal is not going to be allowed, or this is going to be allowed, because it inevitably it shows up and it rears its head during the playoffs sometimes, right? So big games, and you hopefully get through it, but we see it on a nightly basis.
Well, you had unbelievable career, played all, obviously Colorado, LA, San Jose, Team Canada. Do you have, I know we had you in Colorado recently for the 01 Cup reunion. Do you have a favorite memory from your career? Or a favorite couple of memories?
Yeah, I think a lot of us when we get into it, there's so many memories, but they're usually the stuff when things go crazy. Like when you're in a 10-game losing streak and someone's got to step up or whatever. But I mean, on the positive side of things, getting traded to the Avs, just at the time of my career where I didn't understand all the things that went into winning. I really didn't know what it was all about. And then you get thrown into a room where they don't have any other choice but to win. That's all those guys were there for. They've done it a couple of years before, and they're prime and they're ready to do it again. So, I would have to say for my whole career, that was one instant where I walked in and I'm like, oh, okay, these are what the great players do to win. Now this is what it takes. And, so I involved in that one. And I think the other is probably in Salt Lake in the Olympics. The ability to put a team together of, and, we saw it again here with the US and Canada playing this year, but you have the best players in the world, and they come into the room, and there's still a hierarchy. Like there's still, you got to sort your way through and find your thing. But, to look back and say, you're played in the Olympics and the gold medal game was, something that you always remember. And every 4 years when the games are going on, you're like, God, that was a fun time to go there.
Yeah.
Blakey, do you think it's the ability to perform under pressure that is the difference between having a winning team and not? Like, knowing Joe as we do, his heartbeat was the same in overtime as it was the first period. How do you develop that?
I don't know. I've read all these books and these leadership, and, they talk about deliberate practice. And Joe was probably one of the guys what I would watch, what I consider a deliberate practicer. And it might not have been just the game. Is the way he trained in between games, the way he trained on game days. He used to go squat heavy on game days. Like he had a routine, and he wasn't going to vary from it. He didn't care if people talked about it or if people did it or not. He just went, that's what he did. And then he portrayed that, on the ice. But man, you look at the good teams and the teams that win and teams that have success, they have so many different elements there. And, to get thrown in on the Avs with, you started the back end with probably one of the best goalies to ever play in Patrick Waugh, and his personality wasn't the same as Joe's. It was much different, but you needed both of them, right? And then you had, Ray and Adam Foote, and their personalities were different, but they help you get over these humps. So, it was, those guys are special. They just, the bigger the moment, the calmer they are. And it's probably because the work and the preparation they've put in ahead of time.
So I got a little word association for you. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to give you a player and it's guys that you're familiar with, but I just want you to give me one word. So you just talked about Joe, but Joe Sakic, just one word. It could be 2 words if you need to, but
yeah, Joe,
yeah,
great. He's simply great. Pretty much at everything he does. Still is.
Yep, still is. Peter Forsberg.
Fierce. Like, my God. This guy was in a league of his own. You watch some of the players and Peter was the best. I remember here in LA the last few years, we were talking about power play breakouts, and they're like, well, what'd you guys do in Colorado? You had Sakic, you had, Forsberg and all that. Like, what was your scheme coming up the ice? And I'm like, I think all it was go behind the net and give it to Peter. It didn't really matter, right?
Pretty much.
But he was going against Darian Hatcher, and he was going against Matt Tkachuk, and he's going against these big guys that were, all over him, and
not backing down.
No, he wanted that. He wanted it. Yeah. Like we would, I remember listening to the guys being like, Pete, you don't have to take a run at that guy. Like, you don't have to do that tonight. But that's the way he played.
You're up 5-0 in the third period. Don't run at that guy.
Yeah. But he couldn't help himself. And that's what made him great. He was the most fierce player I think I've ever had to see.
All right. Couple more. Adam Foote.
Footer. There's a competitor right there. Like, just, what everything he did, whether it was playing cards, whether it was practical jokes, whether it was on the ice, there was a level of competition. And then, it was just that's what he he lives by it every day, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but the ultimate competitor when it came, obviously in the games itself, and
Yeah.
that's probably what made him special.
All right, this one's away from the Avs, but Anze Kopitar.
Well, I would put him very similar to a Joe Sakic, right? So just, a great player, tremendous player, but,
Yeah.
Being around Anze here for the number of years, got to play with him, fortunately, and manage him.
Yeah.
There was an element of calmness about him. Like I was telling a guy the other day, the way we had our structure in LA, our management was up top, players were downstairs, and there's the stairs, but my office was right here, and I could see the guys downstairs where the cafeteria and everything was. And I was telling them that, there'd be stretches you lose a bunch of games and everybody's losing their mind. Coaches are yelling at each other in the morning, management, get rid of this guy, get rid of. I'd walk there, and the one guy I would always see downstairs having his breakfast was Kopitar, and there wasn't an ounce of panic in him at all. Right. So I could take a breath and say, listen, he's got these guys downstairs, and we don't have to worry about that today. Kopi's got it. Let's move on to a different part. So I would say just that calmness, but the great players elude that when you're around them.
Do you remember with the Avs coming back from Anaheim, and we were playing in St. Louis, I want to say, a couple days later, and we had the opportunity to stay in Anaheim, and you guys got overruled by management, and we got fogged out of DIA, and we had to go to Grand Junction.
I don't remember this.
You don't?
I don't remember that.
So we got fogged out of DIA, couldn't land. We had to divert to Grand Junction after we could have stayed in Anaheim for 2 days. So Footy's losing it, Joe's losing it on Martineau and the staff. We go to Junction. You and I had to stay in a Red Roof Inn in Grand Junction as roommates. We didn't get into Junction until 4:30 in the morning. I think we slept till 9 a.m. and then we bussed back to the airport and flew back to Denver. I thought for sure that would be on your list of what the hells from your career, but that's man. I tried to block it out a little bit. I didn't know if you'd remembered it or not.
Did you at least give me the good bed at the Red Roof Inn? You take the cod, or did I get stuck?
Is there a good bed at the Red Roof?
I don't know that exists, but it was an adventure for sure. It had been a long time since I stayed in a Red Roof Inn, and I think you said the same thing. You're like, Johnny, this is not National Hockey League.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Hey, I want to apologize for my internet. It's a little bit like my life, shitty and unstable. So sorry that I kept popping on and off.
No worries.
God. Yeah, I mean, you should have seen the sweat that was going on here. I'm yelling at Griff. Man. I'm yelling at Dana. I mean, it's just horrible shit. So I apologize. What'd you guys talk about?
Keefer's debit card got hacked yesterday, Blakey. Keefer's debit card got hacked, and his internet is paid by his debit card, and so they've bumped him down a couple of plans.
Do you have a debit card, Blakey? Do you have a debit card?
I do, but I don't know if I've ever used it. I don't.
You need to start using it. You need to start using it. The amount of points you get back from the bank.
I don't think that's a thing. Oh my God. All right, Blakey, we kept you for 30 minutes. You guys got any more questions for him? Because that's our time frame.
No, I'm good.
One thing I think that's
awesome. I appreciate it, man.
Oh,
yeah. No, one thing I was going to bring up to you guys too. It's pretty amazing. You're watching Brent Burns 1,000 consecutive games. Like,
yeah,
how hard that is to do. Like, I mean, for anyone, but I mean, even Burnsy playing the minutes that he has earlier in his career leading up to that, and even now, but not get hit by a shot or get yourself in a situation where you got to miss a game. It's it's pretty special to see that little ceremony in the video and that, but just that's quite an accomplishment for a guy. And I mean, you guys are watching him first time here this year with Colorado, and he really seems to have added to that team. And I think it's a lot of it is his personality too. He's just these guys similar to Joe Thornton I played with in San Jose. They love the game of hockey, and they make it fun coming in the rink. So good for him.
Well, It's interesting you say that because he talks about Joe Thornton a lot and the influence and friendship that they had in San Jose and just like Thornton and how he approached every day at the rink. And you saw it firsthand with Thornton. And I think Brent Burns has really kind of carried that through here to, not just Carolina, but Colorado as well. Because the guys just rave about him in the room. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Riker, but that's kind of, what we've heard from Burnsy a lot. And it's unbelievable. 1,000 straight games.
Yeah, he's refreshing. And what's amazing to me, Rob, I've never seen anybody be able to get the puck to the net consistently like that. And what I've noticed is Sam Malinsky, Josh Manson, even Cale Makar to a point, are all getting the puck to the net. So the influence, he's just soaking into everybody.
Yeah. When we were doing development here in LA, the past probably 4 or 5 years, I know we had Sean O'Donnell and Matt Green were kind of running the D, and they referred to it when they're working with the kids as a Brent Burns shot. Just, the way it would come up, and he wastes no time at getting it through. Now he's big and heavy, and he gets a lot on it that some younger kids got to work at it to perfect. But, no, that was pretty amazing accomplishment, and really seems to be a good fit with that team that you're watching every night. So,
yeah,
well,
I think one of the coolest
things, Rob, we're hoping for Ray Bork Part 2, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, it's setting up there pretty good for them. So they get a couple of these guys back. Injuries, they got some back yesterday, and take care of it. It's pretty impressive, leading pretty much right from the wire in the Western Conference. That's not easy to do because there's ups and downs during the season and other teams, but they've kind of taken the lead right from day one and pushed all the way through. So good for them.
I was just going to say that Dave Reed, when we had Dave Reed for the 2001 team, and he said we weren't trying to win one for Ray, we were trying to win one with Ray. I thought that was pretty cool and mentioned that to a few of the guys in the room, and they were like, same feeling. We want to win with Burnsy, right? We don't want to win for him. We want to win with him. And I thought that was kind of a cool way to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And both of them are such important parts of the team that you are winning with them because, they're important and you're going to need them to go the distance. So
Blakey, thanks a bunch, man. This was awesome.
Okay, boys. Nice.
Appreciate the time, Rob. Thank you.
Have fun. All right. See you guys.
Hey, Griff, we're going to need to talk about, just first of all, that was awesome.
Good job, Johnny. That was awesome.
Thanks, brother. I did send that video from our celebrity shootout this weekend. We had our Breckenridge event, and Riker, I believe you were the 4th shooter in our celebrity shootout, and I sent this video to the group just now. So, Griff, feel free to run that, and we can why don't you walk us through this, Riker? Let's get a little zoom in on that.
Well, I was a couple chilly ones in.
Yeah.
And I did a full hair skate, and I gave it a shake, right? I wanted it straight out of slap shot. We got all the kids there. I'm putting on a show. So I'm going to drop the right shoulder, pull the goalie, and then go left side. Drop the shoulder, shoot, catch a rut, and I'm into the corner, and I'm going. And all I'm seeing is boards, and it's coming quick, man.
Well,
and I'm thinking, oh, my
at
God,
the bottom
I'm going to
here.
smash the boards.
At the bottom.
But
and then you came in for a quick high five to everybody. But, hey, I will say the hair was on point.
Oh, man. But thankfully, the way I fell, my legs came around, so I was able to get, like, my skis underneath me, so to speak, or I was going to yard sail into the boards. Oh, man, I couldn't score all weekend. There I go again. Oh. And I didn't have my helmet on, so everybody's afraid I was going to hit my head, but now I'm good.
It's so good.
Oh, it was so good. Look at the wind-up, too. I love the wind-up. The wind-up is so good.
Well, I was feeling it. See, I came left to right to fake the goalie out.
Yeah.
I almost had the shot, too.
Yeah,
Boom,
he looked like he was fooled. Your next one, I thought was I didn't pull up that video, but you did the Kucherov. You did almost score. You came in with a lot of speed, and I was worried after you fell on the first one that you might fall on the second one. But the Kucherov was nice. The goalie he pinned it under his pad actually.
It was close. And then I high-fived all the kids.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't blow a wheel there and clean out the whole U15 team.
Well, it was kids. It was U15s. It was U12s. It was the Ice Girls. Yeah. And they were not wearing helmets, so that could have been a catastrophe. Keefer just looks like he's staring angrily into the camera with oh, my God. He just looks like he's so frozen. It's
Yeah.
Is
crazy.
he frozen right now?
Yeah, he's frozen. Look at his face.
Okay, let's talk about this right now, Johnny. Let's talk about the Keefer effect here. Look, I had some light to my face. Hey, so he's fuzzy from the start.
Mm-hmm.
He's got no internet. We lose him for what, 5-6 questions?
Yeah.
And Griff, we got to show this. Now he's frozen again.
Yeah. I'm off again. No idea what's happening is the text that he just sent.
Hey, he's got to get off the AOL or whatever it is, man.
Well,
Good heavens.
yeah. I mean, like, I feel like maybe the bunker with all his rations is blocking the internet signal that he's stealing from his neighbor, obviously, because he's not paying for the frickin' thing.
Hey, Johnny, what if he was actually stealing his neighbor's internet signal? That would be the most Kyle Keefe thing ever. Saving
really
saving a
would.
couple of hundred.
Yeah.
I'm
just-
using it, and they must have changed the Wi-Fi. So now he's on
There
like
you go. That's what it is.
hotspot with
It's-
his phone.
You know how on your computer it comes up and there's all the Wi-Fi connections that are listed, and he's looking for the one without the little lock that
Yeah.
has no password requirement, and so it's like Jimmy John's from 3 blocks away. Well,
it's the
right
most
now
universal.
we've got a box with 3 dots going back and forth, and it's
Yeah.
like the spinning wheel of death.
Oh,
for
is that
Keefer's
right? Because
internet.
I had something different.
What do you have?
Let me show you. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, Griff's
You need a
got
screen share?
dirt. Hey, Griff,
Yes, sir.
make sure you pull. If you can find that route to hit with Johnny involved, you got to add that obviously to the
I
clip.
found the game today and actually watched through it. There's about 10 minutes in the third period. It's October 10th from 2003 versus the Blackhawks. Oh, that's what you have?
That's
Is him
what I'm
just
seeing.
rubbing his face. Right now, it's just 3 dots on Keefer. Just
Yeah.
like spinning wheel of death. At the first 10 minutes of the third period, I'm pretty sure is when the hit occurred, and it skipped in the broadcast or whatever's posted on the internet, so I didn't see the hit. But I was looking
Ref will
for it. I'm
find it.
gonna see if I can find another broadcast.
Or just throw a couple on there if you can't find that one. But this is a good time to rip on Keefer. So we
Yeah.
started heavy on him, Johnny, ripping him on the
Yeah,
debit card.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like his internet is kind of translating from his demeanor right now from us ripping on him. He's
Yeah.
not happy.
We're shredding him on the Wi-Fi. He's using all of his neighbor's Wi-Fi or a hotspot on his phone. He's got peanut butter and water. And what else did he have down there for his apocalypse shelter?
Canned vegetables, which he doesn't eat
vegetable.
vegetables. The man does not eat vegetables. He has tons of cans of beans. He has water, although several of the water containers look to be smashed.
Yes.
So that's obviously an anger management room.
Also, if we know Keefer, logging off on this would be the most stressful thing in his entire earth, not to be able
Look at
to
his
talk to us.
face right now. He's so mad.
And
That's
he's
the best
back.
your internet
We see
has
him.
looked. There was one point for, I'm talking 2.5 minutes. This was your face.
Yeah.
And it was just
Oh.
frozen.
So, Keefer, we figured something out about you.
What?
You are stealing your neighbor's Wi-Fi. That's officially what's happening.
I am so pissed off right now. I didn't hear one thing the whole fucking podcast. I don't know what to
Oh,
do. I don't know
man.
who to fire. I don't know who to yell at. This was my podcast experience.
Like me on pre and post game show yesterday. Keefer, where's your main router at? You just got to.
Right
It's a
there,
simple
I'm
fix.
looking at it. Hi, Mr.
Look at
Router.
his face right now. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
when's the
God.
last time you upgraded that thing? Like 1973? Oh, there he
Here,
goes.
I took a picture of his face where
Yeah.
it was frozen, and I'm
I
sending it
love
on
this.
I'm sending it on the group chat right now of what his frozen was.
I think it's time for a new router from Comcast, buds. You got to.
How are you going to watch the Masters?
I'm not. I'm going to go on a killing spree.
I love this. So good.
Quincy's calling me. I need gas. This is
Well, I'll just give her your debit card. You'll be all set.
Can you put $50 on pump 6, please?
$50 on pump sticks. But he's only got $30 in his account.
yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Oh. I'm going to go drive my car off a bridge
Dude.
embankment.
Hey, I feel like we're 17 years old. Who's got $30 on the debit card for gas, guys?
God. Oh,
It's not
my
part of the
God.
plan, Riker.
Oh, I love it. Your plan's all to hell today. We got to regroup.
Oh, I know why you like EI now as your bar. It's because you can go in there and you can get 2 pitchers of Busch Light for $1.25 each on your debit card.
Busch Light, I love
You're not
it.
far off.
Yeah, look at this smug little. Yeah, you're not far off.
I'm sorry. I apologize to all of the millions of listeners that I wasn't part of that show.
I'm going to send you Blakey's number, and I want you to apologize to him directly.
Really? Was it that bad? Dana, come here.
Why
You
is
know
it
my
so
internet
clear
is-
right now?
My internet
Your
sucked so bad
Keefer.
the whole time. Were you doing something?
Wait a minute. You're
What?
perfect right now. Was Dana downloading like the whole season
I
of
think
Euphoria
Dana
or
was.
something?
It was a saboteur.
Were you doing something?
Yeah.
There's a saboteur.
I also have a job.
Oh, so you were sucking up all the internet while I was.
Hey, Dana.
What?
Dana,
What?
do you know that we have a sponsor now, and our podcast takes precedent over your job? So
What was Dana doing?
I wasn't doing anything. I was 2 stories away from him working on my laptop.
And they're making fun of me because I have a debit
That's-
card that I don't charge everything to.
But were you downloading like CIA documents?
I don't
or something?
disagree with them. I disagree.
What?
Yeah, I don't think you should be using a debit card either. It's weird.
Did it come, by the way?
this
and
is
I gotta go
this
shower,
is
I gotta
this
find
is Keefer. You're
I gotta
you're
go
between the
upstairs and wait
rails.
for my replacement debit card. Next time that my face.
No, you know what this
freezes-
is gonna be? This is gonna be Christmas Vacation when the guy's got the knocker on the front door and he opens it and the guy's holding it and he goes,
Yep.
"Hi, it fell between the seats. Merry Christmas."
And the best part is Keefer carries no more than $8 in his wallet. He's got no debit card, doesn't own a credit card. This man basically is not going to be able to eat today. Except peanut butter in the
I'm not used to
basement.
taking this much ridicule without kicking someone in their shins.
That's true. I feel
Or
fortunate
spitting
that
on
we
them.
are at least a
I
few
love
miles away. Yeah, spitting on them like a llama.
Yeah.
All right, I got to go
Just
upstairs and wait
dread.
for my credit card.
It's not a credit card.
Debit.
And don't try and backtrack now.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I need it.
I can't
Kyle.
wait. I cannot wait. In 3 hours, we're going to get a text on our group chat that says,
Yeah.
I'm applying for a credit card.
Johnny, should we help him? What? He'll get denied. He has no credit because he's never
You
applied
have
for
no
anything with credit.
You don't have any credit.
I own everything. I don't need anyone else.
I own everything.
Yeah, that'll work. Put that on the application for the credit card.
Yeah. He's going to get
Honestly,
a visa.
to tell you the truth, after
$1,000 limit.
after the internet connection and the credit card and the debit card and all the food that's packed in my basement, I want the nuclear bomb to land in my mouth so I don't have to deal with any of this anymore. I want it to hit me right, smash my teeth out. I want the nuke to land in my mouth
God.
and disintegrate me.
Oh my God. I wasn't planning on laughing this hard this afternoon, but good God, this is amazing.
I know that we're laughing, but I do got to go wait by the front door.
Okay, last thing though, Keefer. Right now, you're crystal clear. Your internet is perfect.
Yeah.
So somebody was soaking up
Yeah.
the juice.
Joe, I wonder who that could be that just popped downstairs.
Yeah. But that means Dana's doing covert, top secret stuff. She's downloading
She's
them
got like 9 Amazon windows, probably charging her credit card.
yeah.
Oh my God.
I gotta go.
Oh,
I
man.
gotta go.
Wait,
He could
hey,
be knocking
hey.
right now.
He's,
on, one more
could
from
be
Johnny.
knocking. Is Dana not up there? What's
Oh,
happening?
she took off.
Where?
Quincy's out of gas.
Oh my God.
Okay, last one more question, Johnny. What do you got? I'm having so much fun.
I mean, I honestly, I think that's it. I think my brain has officially gone into shutdown mode, trying to
Okay, I got one
process.
last request for
All right.
Keefer. That pink rag you're wearing for a shirt, it looks like a Hulk Hogan ripper. Are you able just to shred that off you right now? Is that possible? Because it looks really, yeah. No way you didn't just do that.
Oh my god.
I look like
Oh,
Parker
my God.
Kelly.
Yes,
Oh.
Keefer.
Oh yeah, put your
He just
your
Hulk
camera
Hogan'd
down.
it.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's legendary, buddy. Wow.
I just had electrolytes come right out my nose.
All right,
Oh.
I got to go get my debit card.
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Go debit, buddy. Debit a new shirt while you're at it.
Oh.